Get a lot of money. Moving different. What up, boy? Come on, man. You know we've been doing this long. We on a real 25-year run. Fuck they talk about Cabo? What they talking about, man? I ain't been back 12 hours yet. Lock it up. A venti. You bring the venti out here. Shit looking type slick. I don't know, Black.
He was your man, like on the side, like on the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing.
I remember this real talk. I was on probation at the time. My probation officer was like, come down to probation or we gonna lock you up on Thursday. I'm like, what the f*** I did? And New York City Intel was there. And New York City Intel said, what's going on with you and 50 Cent? I said, there's some music shit the fuck talking about. They said, well, this seems like it's one of me. I said, yo, he puts people out of business. I gotta respond. I respond to everything I love. I told you. So I'm like, yo, the man puts people out of business. You gotta say something. Then one officer's like, yeah, he does, man. He does. So it's just on me. Y'all gonna talk to him? Like, they like, yeah, his flight is later. We're gonna have a conversation with him too.
50 Cent just made a move so calculated, it left Dipset caught completely off guard. And now, Cam'ron is finally breaking his silence, revealing what really went down behind closed doors. This isn't your average rap beef. It's a story about money, loyalty, and legacy. Cam'ron didn't hold back. He opened up about the real state of things between him and Jim Jones after years of tension, broken partnerships, and those fake "we're good now" moments that never lasted. According to him, this wasn't just about egos, it was about power and paychecks. He laid it out clearly. He was the one grinding non-stop to put Jim Jones and Juelz Santana in position to win. From securing mixtape deals to turning the Diplomats into one of Harlem's biggest movements, Cam says he built the foundation that everyone else stood on.
Look, I always wish Jim the best. I hope he does well. He came a long way. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, we all did, bro. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all bros,
No, I want to tell you something. I'm talking about just from not being my man. You got to realize this is my man who couldn't rap. It turned into my hype man. It turned into an artist directing videos, so his hustle is impeccable. As far as me, for the Diplomat, your question is this, though. You got to think about this, Bleak. We put out our first mixtape probably 2001.
24 years ago.
Yeah. The album came out in 2003. So you sit there and say, okay, 2001 to let's say we broke up 2007. Even if you give it 2008, that's a 6-7 year run. Music was just so powerful. The logo was still, people just love it. Our first reunion, I'm talking about after we broke up, got back together, was in 2010.
Yeah.
The first reunion show we did. If we can't get it together now, it's been 2010 to 2025. So the reunions and arguments and fighting's been 15 years. The run was only 7 years.
Cam also dropped some gems about the early days, revealing how big names like Dame Dash used to pull him aside and tell him to slow down, warning that moving too fast could come back to bite him. But Cam wasn't trying to hear that. He went full throttle, turning Dipset into more than just a rap group. He built it like a street empire and ran it like a CEO. That hustle made history, no doubt. But it also planted the seeds of tension that never really went away. Even when the crew looked tight on camera, there was always something brewing beneath the surface. And just when it seemed like Dipset was finally finding its rhythm again, 50 Cent came through with a power move that flipped the entire game on its head.
Speaking on Jim, I heard you say on your show, you like, yo, what's up with you and Beans? It's the same I feel with you and Jim, bro. Like, I need y'all to fix that, my G. Do you think that can ever be fixed?
Look, to me, when it goes to the Diplomat shit, right, it's like the Williams brothers from the other side of the projects. Like, you know, yo, the Smiths, them niggas be bugging.
Yeah.
The Diplomat thing to me is like, it's no matter what. At one particular time, nobody was bigger than the group.
That's right.
And I remember Dame saying that. Dame was like, yo, Cam, because what happened is this, I got a fucked up deal, Epic. I had to get the Def Jam. When I got the Rockefeller, I started maneuvering like, all right, I was in a fucked up situation. So when I'm trying to get Jim on, Juelz on, I remember I'm fighting for Jim. Nobody believed Jim was a rapper. I'm like, yo, nah, Jim, you gonna direct my videos. Jim, motherfucker, you gonna get the deal. This, that, and the third. And basically, I'm fighting for all of us. So I remember I started getting the Diplomat mixtapes and them shits was hot. And Dame was like, Cam, you might want to slow that down. These niggas, you know, if you put you out, wait a while for the Diplomat. So therefore, it's not the same thing. I'm like, nobody got time to wait. Y'all been in a comfortable situation.
Right.
All my niggas been fucked up the last 2-3 albums we trying to get on. So
it was never just about the music. It was about dominance, timing, and business strategy that left everyone else scrambling to keep up. Now, Cam'ron isn't wasting time reminiscing about the past. He's all about evolution, new money, new moves, and never getting trapped chasing old glory. This time around, it's not about who had the hottest bars. It's about who's sharp enough to turn their legacy into an empire that stands the test of time.
Even like with Jim, I didn't get him his first deal at Koch. Like, I got the single, the artist deal at Rockefeller. I went to Kevin Lyles and Leo to get the joint venture deal for Jewels and the Diplomat album. Then Dame just came and started flipping, talking about, you ain't doing no deal with Cam. If I would have came and asked you for this deal, you would have told me no. So I ended up going through Rockefeller, Def Jam for Diplomats and Jewels when it was just going to be Diplomat, Def Jam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but Dame went up there flipping out on Kevin. And Kevin Lyles, I remember sitting there, he's like, Dame, I don't make money off albums. I get paid a salary. I don't give a fuck if it goes to you, Def Jam, whatever. So, but back to the Diplomat thing. Look, I always wish Jim the best. I hope he does well. He came a long way. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, we all did, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Y'all bros, man.
No, I want to tell you something. I'm talking about just from not being my man. You gotta realize this is my man who couldn't rap. It turned into my hype man. It turned into an artist directing videos, so his hustle is impeccable.
Cam'ron didn't just speak, he opened up, revealing just how deep his rift with Jim Jones really runs, and it's way deeper than anyone ever imagined. When you really listen to his words, you can feel the pain, the pride, and the truth in every sentence. Fans are calling it one of the rawest, most honest interviews Cam has ever done about Jim and Dipset, and they're not wrong. Before we play the clip, drop your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button, because what Cam says next completely changes how you'll view the Dipset story. This isn't just about two rappers falling out, it's about money, loyalty, and the pressure that comes when fame turns friends into rivals. In hip-hop, money and power always test loyalty, and Dipset became the perfect example of how those tests can tear even the strongest crews apart. This time, Cam'ron isn't speaking out of anger, he's speaking from experience. He's looking back on a 7-year run that built legends and a 15-year feud that just wouldn't die. That timeline alone shows how pride and money can twist everything from friendship to legacy.
Far as the Diplomat, the question is this though, you gotta think about this, Bleak. We put out our first mixtape probably 2001.
Shit, 24 years ago.
Yeah, the album came out in 2003. So you sit there and say, okay, 2001 to let's say we broke up 2007. Even if you give it 2008, that's a 6-7 year run. Music was just so powerful. The logo was still, people just love it. Our first reunion, I'm talking about after we broke up, got back together, was in 2010.
Yeah.
The first reunion show we did. If we can't get it together now, it's been 2010 to 2025. So the reunions and arguments and fighting's been 15 years. The run was only 7 years. We got 15 years of disputes longer than the run. The run was 7 years.
Yeah.
The disputes is going on 10, we'll get together here and there, this, that, and the third. But the thing about it is this, and I'm be honest, is that the last scenario that we went to, me and Jim was cool.
When business stops aligning with friendship, the brotherhood starts to fade and the grind turns cold. Cam isn't painting himself as the hero or Jim as the villain, he's just keeping it real. Ego and emotion can either build empires or burn bridges for good. Cam put in the work locking in mixtapes, tours, and branding deals so everyone around him could win. And Jim? He hustled his way from being the hype man in the background to becoming a respected artist, boss, and businessman in his own right. This isn't just another rap feud, it's a story about growth, hustle, and evolution. Both men took their pain and turned it into progress, trading fame for financial freedom and long-term stability. That's why Cam's words hit so hard. He's not dwelling on the past, he's focused on building a future filled with new ventures, smarter investments, and legacy moves that'll outlast the drama. Too many rappers get stuck chasing their old glory days, trying to relive moments the world has already moved on from, and that's how they end up broke, bitter, and forgotten. But Cam'ron is proving something different, that you can still rise even when the crew splits and the loyalty fades. He's showing that real power comes from adapting, not reminiscing. Despite all the tension and broken bonds, he's out here stacking wins, reminding everyone that growth doesn't stop just because friendships do.
I take responsibility for it, but I was dead serious. It was a time where Jim had did a show with 50, and I think...
I remember that concept.
Right, and I think the way 50 answered the question got Jim mad. But I'm sitting there saying to myself, I think it'd be on the time me and you on right now. We can't talk about, we can't talk about, but the way 50 answered the question, it got Jim mad and it riled him up and he went on tangent for 4, 5, 6 months. Still to this day, I guess he's still upset. But I didn't mean militia out of it. I really want to know
what it was.
how did you get niggas to go fuck with you when me and you beefing? And me and Jewels and Jim, not saying we was beefing, but we wasn't on the same page. So it was a real question for me. And, Jim got mad about it and still upset to this day about it. But I'm never going to say never. But at the end of the day, if you got to think about it, the disputes the arguments, the reunions is 15 years old, and the run was 7 years old. I don't know if it could ever go right. You know, he got records dissing me earlier this year, whatever. I don't really pay no mind. People send it to me. But you gotta think about it. He put a song called Our Frenemies in like 2008.
And then there's 50 Cent, the man who completely redefined how hip-hop and business intersect. His power move didn't just shake up Dipset, it sent shockwaves through the entire culture. 50 proved that in this game, strategy and timing can be just as valuable as raw talent. When he made a move, it wasn't only about dropping hits, it was about dominating the industry like a boss. He transformed G-Unit from a street crew into a global money-making empire. From music to movies, liquor brands to television, every step was intentional. 50 turned hustle into a blueprint, building an empire where his people didn't just follow the wave, they profited from it. That's why when people mention 50 Cent, they don't just talk about his music. They talk about power, ownership, and longevity. That's the real difference between surviving and thriving in this industry, knowing when to evolve, when to invest, and when to let go of the past before it traps you. Cam'ron's new revelations didn't just stir up old memories, they forced everyone to see the Dipset legacy through a whole new lens. Behind the pink furs, luxury cars, and chart-topping hits, there was always quiet tension simmering between brothers who came up together but started moving differently once the money got involved.
17 years of diss records towards me. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? My brain ain't there.
It's the same way with Beans. Beans got diss records dissing me and all that. And it's like, I don't know where niggas coming from. But at the end of the day, like, when the lights cut off, the music cut off, everything cut off, I can never erase what was.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? But it's time for niggas to definitely embrace what is. Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's what I be saying to niggas. Like,
the best thing, and it's totally different scenarios, but you talked about it. I didn't even see the interview. I seen the clip.
Yeah.
When they asked you if niggas are ever gonna speak again. And you like,
they crossed the line. Like with Dame, I feel like there's a line that was crossed. Like Beans ain't go there. Like,
I understand
that's
what
my
you're
nigga.
saying.
Like we get on the phone, I'm gonna pick up the phone tonight. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like between them.
Back in the early 2000s, Dipset wasn't just a rap crew, they were a full-blown movement. From Harlem to the world, they changed the culture with their sound, their swagger, and their street presence. But behind all the success, tension was brewing. Cam'ron was the visionary, the one who saw how to flip their street fame into a legitimate empire. Meanwhile, Jim Jones was carving out his own lane, managing artists, building industry connections, and chasing opportunities beyond the Diplomat's brand. That's when the cracks began to show. Then came 50 Cent and everything shifted. He saw the weak spots, the egos, the split loyalties, the money issues, and he knew exactly how to use them to his advantage. 50's power wasn't just in the music, it was in the strategy. While others were chasing hits, he was building an empire. As G-Unit rose to the top, 50 moved like a CEO, turning rivals' drama into his leverage. He didn't just watch Dipset unravel, he studied it. And from their downfall, he learned how to build what they couldn't hold together.
I don't even have to ask Jay. It ain't even like Jay said it to me and was like, nah, niggas is done. Nigga. It ain't never. I just know knowing him.
But the reason I brought that up, it isn't even about, because like Biggs my big bro too. Shout out to Biggs.
Yeah, shout out Biggs. Definitely.
So,
Silent OG.
Yeah, that's my big bro. So it's like this, for instance, right? And that's what I'm saying, right? I built a few different entities that's doing well. Right now, unless Jay feels like being nostalgic or whatever, you're gonna see those hats that you wear. It ain't. We could go Rockefeller every 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but this is what we pumping.
It's what it is
right now, exactly. So it's never not a problem to feel nostalgic and reminisce. But if you do too much of that reminiscing and just base everything you doing off of what the past was, you just gonna sound like a nigga with a bunch of stories and you old and bitter and so on and so forth.
While Dipset was busy clashing over credit and control, 50 Cent was quietly rewriting the blueprint for success. He wasn't caught up in crew politics, he was signing TV deals, expanding liquor brands, and stacking real estate investments. Every move he made sent one clear message: independence is the real power play. He showed the culture that you don't have to be trapped in label politics or loyalty drama to win. Now, years later, Cam'ron seems to understand that lesson. He's admitted that some of the choices he made back then came from emotion, not strategy. He's opening up about how friendships mixed with money can blur boundaries and how pride can destroy real business faster than any diss track. What we're seeing isn't just Cam calling out Jim Jones, it's him exposing the entire industry formula that's kept artists from truly owning what they build. Because in hip-hop, loyalty might earn you love, but strategy earns you legacy. What made it all so explosive was how public the fallout became. The world watched as two Harlem brothers in arms turned into silent rivals. Every interview, every subliminal lyric just poured more fuel on the fire. Cam'ron built Dipset from the ground up, but when fame hit, so did the outside influences, managers, label execs, street connections, all whispering in different ears. Suddenly, questions like who controls the money, who owns the music, who's the real face of Dipset started breaking them apart, and 50 Cent, he saw all of it. He didn't just watch the downfall, he studied it. While Dipset argued over royalties, 50 was building an empire, TV productions, film deals, brand partnerships. He didn't just play the game, he changed it. The coldest part? He didn't even have to attack. He let Dipset's own chaos do the work while he locked in generational wealth. Now, Cam's reflection feels like a warning to every artist chasing fast fame. It's not about who's trending. Right now, it's about who's thinking 5 steps ahead. In an industry where loyalty fades and money talks, real power belongs to those who know how to play both sides without losing themselves. At the end of the day, this was never just another rap beef. It's a business lesson, a reminder that in this game, loyalty, money, and management have to move in sync if you want the team to last. You can have all the hits in the world, but if egos clash and the business isn't right, the empire crumbles quick. Cam'ron's words hit different because he's speaking from scars, not theories. He's lived it, the fame, the fallout, the broken trust, and the rebuild. Now, he's proving that survival in hip-hop isn't just about staying relevant, it's about learning the business and protecting your legacy before it's too late. The music will always live on, but true greatness comes from turning that fame into long-term power. Cam seems to finally get that, and maybe Jim does too. If they ever reunite, it won't be for charts or clout, it'll be for legacy, ownership, and respect. But what do you think, can Cam'ron and Jim Jones ever move past the money and power struggles to rebuild something new? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that pull back the curtain on hip-hop's biggest truths. Hit the next video on your screen. You don't want to miss what's coming next.